Jaya Gurudev, Srila Gurudev. Jaya Vishnupad, Paramhams, Parivrajacharya, Ashtodasat Srimad Srila Abhayacharya Arvind, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind ki Jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Jai. Welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, entitled The Status Quo. Chapter 13, The Appearance of Lord Varaha. Text number 13. We'll all do Mangalchar. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakte Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 13. Yesham natushto bhagavan Yagnalingo Janardhanaha Yagnalingo Janardhanaha Tesham shramo hi aparthaya Tesham shramo hi aparthaya Yadatmanadrita swayam. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Yesham natushto bhagavan. Yesham natushto bhagavan. Yagnalingo janardhanaha. Yagnalingo janardhanaha. Tesham shramo hi apahritya. Sam sapo hi aparthaya. Tesham shramo hi aparthaya. Tesham shramo hi aparthaya. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Yesham natushto bhagavan. Yagnalingo janardhanaha. Tesham shramo aparthaya. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Natushto bhagavan. Yagnalingo janardhanaha. Tesham shramo hi aparthaya. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Yesham natushto bhagavan. Yagnalingo janardhanaha. Tesham shramo hi aparthaya. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Yesham natushto bhagavan. Yagnalingo janardhanaha. Tesham shramo hi aparthaya. Yadatmanadrita swayam. Word for word. Yesham. Of those with whom. Na. Never. Tushtaha. Satisfied. Bhagavan. The personality of Godhead. Yagnalingaha. Yagnalingaha. The form of sacrifice. Janardhanaha. Lord Krishna. Or the Vishnu Tattvas. Tesham. Of them. Shramaha. Labor. He. Certainly. Aparthaya. Without profit. Yat. Because. Atma. The Supreme Soul. Na. Not. Adrita. Respected. Swayam. His own self. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardhana, Lord Krishna, is the form to accept all the results of sacrifice. If he is not satisfied, then one's labor for advancement is futile. He is the ultimate self, and therefore, one who does not satisfy him certainly neglects his own interests. Purport. Brahma is deputed as the supreme head of universal affairs, and he in turn deputes Manu and others as charges the affairs of the material manifestation. But the whole show is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma knows how to satisfy the Lord. And similarly, persons engaged in the line of Brahma's plan of activities also know how to satisfy the Lord. The Lord is satisfied by the process of devotional service, consisting of the ninefold processes of hearing, chanting, etc. It is in one's own self-interest to execute prescribed devotional service. And anyone who neglects this process neglects his own self-interest. Everyone wants to satisfy his senses, but above the senses is the mind. And above the mind is the intelligence. Above the intelligence is the individual self. And above the individual self is the super self. Above even the super self is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu Tattva. The primeval Lord and the cause of all causes is Sri Krishna. The complete process of perfectional service is to render service for the satisfaction of the transcendental senses of Lord Krishna, who is known as Janardhana. What a fired up purport, eh? I like this line. But the whole show is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What a line. What a fired up line, right? So beautiful, right? That's Srila Prabhupada, right? It's very beautiful. So we are in the part of Srimad Bhagavatam where in Canto 12, Brahma has created a lot of children. Right? Brahma has produced a lot of children. He has produced the Prajapatis, the knowledge, the good and the bad. So he has produced. He has given out a lot of products. And now here there is a conversation between one such product, Swayambhuva Manu. Right? One such product is having a conversation with Brahma. So if you think of patterns in Srimad Bhagavatam, you will notice this pattern. In Bhagavatam, you will notice a pattern of father-son conversation. There is a pattern. Right? In Bhagavatam, there are many patterns. This is one such pattern. Like in Canto 1, we see the conversation between Shringi and Shammika Muni. Right? Father-son. They're discussing. Why did you get angry? That in Canto 2, you see Brahma and Narada had a conversation. Narada is saying that I see that you're supreme, but I see somebody, that you're also praying to someone. Here we are seeing another such father-son conversation. Brahma is discussing with Swayambhuva Manu. So father-son conversation. And then you will see Canto 4, you will have Priyavrata, Swayambhuva Manu, Rishabdev and his children. Like this pattern will keep repeating, right? This is a repeated pattern throughout Bhagavatam. So it's one such pattern, father-son conversation. So in one sense, what we have to appreciate is when there is a familial relationship, then the conversation is more profound. Right? It is more deeper. Right? Yesterday I was sitting and then just discussing with my wife, and we just started discussing about Dronacharya and how Dronacharya was not well off in life and how Sudama was not well off in life. We were just discussing, right? And then this conversation went for 2 hours. Sometimes with familial, you're discussing some subject matter and you can discuss and just 2 hours pass by. So this happens in familial. When there is a familial relationship, then the conversation can become more deeper and the doubts come out more easily. Right? So familial relationship. We see Krishna telling Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, bhakto sime sakha cheti. That my dear Arjuna, you are like my devotee, but more than that, you are my friend. So there is a familial relationship. In friendship, there is familial relationship, right? In fact, in many sense, we consider our friends more greater than our family. In many sense, right? Especially when you are young, youthful, right? You prefer to be with your friends than with your family. This is just preference, right? So you will notice this familial relationship forms part of the rasa. This is what the rasa is. Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. This is actually building the familial relationship. Like that's what it is, right? And so in Bhagavatam, you will notice this pattern of familial relationship. Krishna and Arjuna discussing in Bhagavad Gita, related. They're family related, right? They're cousins. Related by family. Vasudev's son and Kunti's son. Right? So related. Vasudev, Kunti, brother, sister. Right? So related. Here we'll see Sukadev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj. Related. Right? Vyasadev's son Sukadev. Vyasadev's son Pandu. Pandu's son Pandava's son Parikshit. So, you see, family relation. So what happens is that this familial relationship allows for sweeter conversation. So are you understanding? So that idea. So here, Swayambhuva Manu is asking that, what should I do? What is beneficial? Like that is the question, right? Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, right? What should a dying man do? What is the most beneficial? That is Parikshit Maharaj's question. Here Swayambhuva Manu is asking his father that what should I do? I'm here, my wife is here, Satarupa, right? My wife is here, what should I do? What is beneficial, right? And so now the conversation becomes sweeter. See, it's a sweeter conversation, right? Right? Other children also came, right? But you'll see here this conversation is brought out in Bhagavatam because it's sweet. And this conversation is so sweet that as a product, Lord Varahadev comes. That's the sweetness of the conversation. Right? So this is what happens. That in the Kathayantasya Mam Nitya, right? Madchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantasya Mam Nitya. In that part, right? Krishna will becomes the byproduct. He comes, Krishna will appear there. That's why Krishna tells, right, that I am not in Vaikuntha, I am not in the heart of the yogis, where my devotees are associating and discussing, I am there. Are you noticing? So here, that is what happens. So Swayambhuva Manu is discussing with his father and saying, my dear father, what should we do? Earth is submerged. I mean, that part is coming, the earth is submerged and all of that is going to come, right? So that it becomes a product of the sweetness of the conversation, Krishna comes. Why? Because Krishna is the most sweet. So if the conversation is sweet, Krishna will appear. Are you noticing? So that is the sweetness. That is why, when in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that this is Rasamalayam. Bhagavatam is Rasamalayam. So in discussing of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna will appear. Is that making sense? Because he's Rasamalayam and he is Rasa Vigraha. He is the personification of that. So he comes there. So that is to be understood. So now in this sweetness, now Brahma is saying something quite profound. This is very profound what he's saying, right? Yesham na tushto Bhagavan. Right? Chane rushta, chane tushta, rushta tushta, chane chane. In the material world, that's how we are, right? Sometimes we are rushta, chane rushta, oh, life is not good. Chane tushta, oh, life is good. Right? Rushta, oh, life is not good. Tushta, no, life is good. Chane chane. At every moment. Right? This is us, right? In this material world. Recently I got COVID. Right? So, COVID survivor, I should write a t-shirt, I survived COVID. so you got COVID. So then you're like, body pain and you have fever and you're like, in total pain. Right? And at that time you have 101 degrees. Right? 101, 102. And then what happens after 2 days it becomes 99 degrees. And believe me, you feel relief. Today only 99 degrees. Still you cannot move. Still body is aching. But you're thinking, better than 101, right? So, chane rushta, chane tushta. But then after that, then when you're 99 degrees for 2 days, again rushta. I'm 99, I got fever. Then it becomes 98, 97, tushta again. So this is material manifestation, right? We are disturbed, we are happy, we're disturbed, we are happy. That is continuous. It's a continuous motion, right? Now here what Brahma is saying that, see, Swayambhuva, you can get into all of this chane rushta, chane tushta, rushta tushta, chane chane. You can get into that, right, if you want to. But actually, yesham na tushto Bhagavan. But actually, if Krishna is not satisfied, right, if Gopinath is not satisfied, then yagna, your tesham shramohi aparthaya. The shrama, the effort that you're putting, the shrama, that real effort that you're putting is have no value. Right? So this is aparthaya means without profit. Right? So the third line, tesham shramo hi aparthaya. You have put a lot of effort, but there is no profit in your effort. Why do we put effort? Right? Any one of us, why do we put effort? We want profit. Yeah, we get something, right? We wake up in the morning, why? So that our mood is nice. Right? We are chanting in the morning, so our mood is nice. We are studying Bhagavatam, so our mood is nice. Then we are eating prasadam, so our body gets good result. You see, we are making effort, we want to get result. Right? Now the question is, where does this principle come from? This principle of if I make an effort, I should get a result. Where is this principle? Remember, whenever you see a pattern, that means there is a principle. Everyone is making effort, everybody wants result. Where is this coming from? Right? Where has this idea popped up from? This has originally popped up from our dealings with Krishna. Krishna is supreme, right? He is Samrat, right? He is the total. Now with Krishna, anything you do, you will get result. Purnamada, Purnamidam. Right? Are you understanding? That is that. This is from Yajurveda. Purnamada. This invocation from Yajurveda. Right? So Purnamada, Purnamidam. Right? So Krishna is like that. That if you simply look at Krishna, immediately Purnamidam. There is result. Because this is, when we say Krishna is Rasa Vigraha, when we say Krishna is multifarious, this is the actual thing about multifarious. That simply thinking of Krishna, there is a result. Simply looking at Krishna, there is a result. Right? So this is Krishna. So this idea of if there is effort, there is result is originally coming from the interaction with Krishna. So then that we carry that same interaction here into the material manifestation, and here therefore whatever effort we put, we need a result. So why Brahma is focusing on this, he's saying that Tesham Shramo hi aparthaya. That therefore if you put effort, right, if you do not get profit, you will get bewildered. Are you understanding that why he's saying this? He's saying because we are used to this idea that if I put an effort, I should get a result. We are used to this idea, and we are getting this originally from bhakti. This is the process of bhakti. You put an effort, you will get a result. This is the process of bhakti. That is why when you think of karma mimamsa, when karma mimamsa is saying that karma, is the highest principle, actually if you look at that concept, the karma mimamsa concept, in bhakti, we take that exact concept. Are you understanding? So that is why Vedanta is the sum total. Vedanta takes all the Saddarshanas, all the other 5, Panchadarshas, right? All the other 5 darshanas into one concept. Right? And it is saying that yes, you believe, do good, you'll get good result. Bhakti takes the same principle and says, if you do devotional service, you'll get devotional result. Are you noticing? The same principle is being picked up. No difference. Nyaya has its principle that if you do this through logic, you will get it out. We said yes. We take that exact same principle and we say that principle is now achintya when dealing with Krishna. That same logic is achintya when dealing with Krishna. Right? So you will see that these principles, Sankhya will get picked up, Vaisheshika will get picked up, Yoga will get picked up. All of these 5 schools will get picked up, and in Vedanta, it is sum total. Right? And that is why bhakti, when it comes to execution, right, it is the highest subset. Like some people are saying, I'm into karma, I'm into jnana, I'm into hatha yoga, right? But all of these are subsets when it comes to execution. When it comes to execution, they are subsets. Right? Because in hatha yoga, it is like, yep, there is hatha yoga, but then who can perform hatha yoga? Only certain people can perform. Right? Who have certain age and certain strength. I met one Babaji in Dehradun. Right? My maternal uncle took me to meet him. And what he is that he was saying that he's more than 100 years old. Right? He's a very old person. And he's saying that he used to live in the caves of in the glaciers, in the Himalayan glaciers. Like Gangotri, Yamunotri, near glaciers. He used to live in that cave. Right? And he has met many personalities, and then he was explaining. And so then I was listening, I was like, okay, all right, this person is, great yogi, great meditator, very nice to meet him. I'm listening, and then after some time I was just asking him, I was saying, so, you're here in Dehradun, is there any like preaching program or something? He's saying, no, I'm waiting for winters to subside. So then I can go back to the Himalayas, because now I am old. So he is a hatha yoga practitioner, right? But there is a limit to which you can practice it, right? There is a limit, right? And after that, the body starts breaking down, right? So this idea, this is practically I could observe. I'm like, oh, okay. So for someone who was so many years meditated in that, now he's feeling good. Now I'm not saying he was shivering or something. Old, lean person, but still quite fit. You can see that face is youthful. Body may be old, but face is youthful. So you can observe that a result. There is some result. So the idea here is that all of these processes, yoga, sankhya, they are all subsets. When it comes to bhakti, bhakti takes all of this in completeness. Right? So one can perform bhakti in his deathbed, right? One can perform bhakti in the womb. You see, that's the range we are discussing. So from the womb till the deathbed, right? In that spectrum, this is a superset. So that is why bhakti is considered glorious, right? So now coming back here, so this is the presentation from Lord Brahma, that actually Yagna Lingo Janardhana. That actually you must, worship the Yagna Lingo. Who? Lord Krishna. Right? And you'll hear the word lingo here. Right? We all have, right? What's your lingo? Right? The word lingo, it is like, what is your representation? Or, cultural, in speech. What lingo are you using, right? You'll see that word, that English word is coming from Sanskrit, lingaha. Lingaha means a representation. Like when we say linga sharira means your subtle body. Right? So you'll see these principles, like you will see all these words root out into Sanskrit. So this thing you will see, right? So now this Yagna Lingaha is Janardhana. So Lord Brahma's presentation is that you're my son, you're very dear, you want to know what is beneficial for you, actually you should do worship to Lord Krishna. Right? Now this last line is something that we can meditate on because it's really beautiful. Yad Atma Nadritha Swayam. Okay? And now listen to Srila Prabhupada's translation. This is really a fabulous translation, right? I'm just reading the last, so it starts with he, and he meaning Krishna, right? So I'll replace it and I'll just say Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate self. Catch this. Krishna is the ultimate self. Okay? And therefore, one who does not satisfy him certainly neglects his own interest. Alright? I don't know if you can catch this. Is quite phenomenal what is being said here. All of us, atheists, are interested in self. Like making sure the self is okay. The theist, right, even up to the greatest yogis, what will they say? Oh yes, I am divine. So they are looking for the self, Atma. They are all looking for that Atma. Right? So what is Brahma's presentation? That actually Krishna is the ultimate self. That's why the word Janardhanaha. That's why the word he's using, Janardhanaha. He is the ultimate self because, you have people into all of this, right? Self-motivation, mindfulness. They have all of this. They're all about the self. Krishna is the ultimate self. What a fired up, what a fired up translation, right? Krishna is the ultimate self. So, if you do not satisfy him, you are not satisfying yourself. If we want to satisfy ourselves, right? I want to be satisfied. I don't know about you guys. You can suffer. It's okay. You suffer. Yeah, you deserve it. It's your karma. Why am I suffering? No, I have to be good. You see, we are very self-positioned, right? So, the point here being made that if self-interest is our desire, self-interest, then Krishna is the ultimate self. How fired up is that? How fired up is that presentation by Srila Prabhupada? I'm Brahma, but then Srila Prabhupada is opening this, treasure trove for us to understand. Because Krishna is the ultimate self. And I want self-satisfaction. That means if Krishna is satisfied, then I'm satisfied. Because he is the ultimate in that. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that, such a simple concept? Yeah, that's amazing. Because think of it like this, right? If you break it down, and this is in Canto 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Where they talk about who's the Swami. Who's the Swami, right? There's a beautiful shloka. This is in, what's the name of that king? Urvashis. What's the name of that king? No. Yes, Pururava. No, sorry. With P. Pururava, right? Yeah, Urvashi, that he runs behind Urvashi. Yes, Pururava, right? So Pururava is making this point. I don't remember the name of the king, but I'm pretty certain he's right. It's Pururava. I'm quite certain he's right. It is Pururava. The king, he's making this point. Who is the Swami of this body? Like, who is that self? Right? And think about this, right? In this wonderful body, I am in control. How did I get COVID? I'm in control, right? It's my body, right? How did I get COVID? How did COVID take over my body? It's mine. Yeah, is it really? So this is at that Swami that I forget the shloka, but it's saying that who is the Swami of this body? It's starting with, is it you? The one who lived in it? Right? And then it's a very beautiful thing he's saying it. Or is it the man who comes to claim the dead body? When I'm dead, someone will come and say, my body, I'm claiming. They're like, oh, this is your body? Yeah, okay, do the paperwork, take your body. Take your body. What do you mean your body? It was my body. But now it is your body because you have to go and do the final rites. Right? So, and then he's saying, or is it the dog who is taking away the bones? Do you know when you burn the body, some bones are left, the dog comes and takes the bone. Is he the Swami? So amazing that shloka, right? So fired of shloka. And so the point here being made is, although we think, this is my body. No, there are so many jivas in this body. I happen to be the prominent jiva. I happen to be the prominent jiva, but other jivas can take over. When I was lying down in COVID, sweating, in body pain, what happened at that time? Where was my body? Where was it? Where was that authority, that possession at that time? At that time, body is paining so much, you want to give up the body. It is explained that when one is dying, the body generates so much heat that the soul wants to leave the body. It's too hot. It gets so hot, it leaves the body. Right? So, that's what happens, right? So, although you're the possessor, so the point here being made is that we are thinking, I am the self, but there are so many jivas in this body. So, the ultimate self, if he is satisfied, then me, the prominent jiva, all other jivas will be satisfied and the body will function. Right? My Guru Maharaj, he got discharged by Krishna's grace, by Radha Gopinath Prabhupada's grace. He got discharged from hospital. He was in Chennai. But, like you are seeing that, the physiotherapists are coming, they're checking the body. My Guru Maharaj is like, yeah. And they were saying that, wow, his consciousness is steady. That's unique. That is unique. That, body may be troubled, but the consciousness is steady. So that is what Krishna does. That is what Krishna consciousness does. It steadies our consciousness, though the material manifestation may give different results. Right? Sometimes it's a positive result, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's neutral. The worst thing that happens to us is neutral. Do you know that? We hate when it's a neutral result. We rather have a negative result than a neutral result. That's how result-oriented we are. Because that's how Krishna is. When we deal with Krishna, you will always get a result. Always you will get a result. I was reading this Vidagdha Madhava by Rupa Goswami. And you'll see that conversation, right? Anything, they are looking at Krishna's picture and they're getting a result. Picture of Krishna. They're getting a result. Oh, Krishna, where is Krishna? They're looking at, they're looking at a flower. They're getting a result. Oh, Krishna, oh, Krishna. You see, so much result. This is Krishna. He is the ultimate in that. Right? So then, we are so used to it that we rather get a negative result than no result. Like this neutral just doesn't work for us. Right? It just doesn't function, right? So here, this is Lord Brahma's presentation to Swayambhuva Manu that Yesham na tushto Bhagavan. That if you are not satisfying Krishna, who is Krishna? Which Bhagavan? Right? Because, sometimes you'll see that, Narad Muni is also called Bhagavan. Because they have, somebody with good qualities. Presenting great qualities of Krishna, right? So Bhagavan. But here it says, Yesham na tushto Bhagavan. Who is the Bhagavan? Yagna Lingo Janardhana. Right? That personality who is the Janardhana. Right? So all the selves, he is their super self. Right? Tesham shramohi aparthaya. Your effort will not get a result. if you don't satisfy him, right? Yat Atma Nadrita Swayam, because he is the ultimate self. How fired up is that, right? What a point. Oh, what an amazing representation by Brahma to Narada and by Srila Prabhupada in opening these eyes. Right? He said the whole show is for the satisfaction for the Supreme Personality of God. This entire show. It's a show. It doesn't feel like a show, right? I'm COVID. It's for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of God. It's hard. You're trying to tell me that my suffering is for the satisfaction? Yes! 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 Because he is the ultimate enjoyer, so he enjoys it all. That's why, when Arjuna is seeing Krishna and he's saying, Krishna, I can see your damshra. The teeth, the smiling teeth of death. Smiling teeth of death. Damshra Karala. Those Karalam, horrible, but they're the smiling teeth of death. Krishna is enjoying. Arjuna is seeing, he says, it's very dangerous form. I don't want to see. I don't want to see. He's very, devotee, right? So I don't want to see this form. I want to see Krishna's form, fun, dealing. That's the form interested. Now, it doesn't mean that Arjuna is not suffering in the battlefield. Suffering like anything. His son is dying. His son got killed with, I think, 8 Maharathis or 6, or like lots, right? Abhimanyu got killed with 8 surrounding him, and then they dragged his body, it's not like, they killed him and left him. No, they dragged his body around. It's quite, terrible, isn't it, for a Kshatriya? He's going through all of this pain. He's saying, but Krishna, I don't want to see this Damshra Karalam. You show me your Shama Sundar, your Manushya form, two-handed form. I want to see that. That's the form I'm interested in. So, we see that. And so this becomes our mood. Like we're dealing in the material manifestation, we're getting thrashed, we're getting angry, we're like, this devotee told this to me, or that guy told this to me, or somebody honked at me, I was running in the bus stop and the bus went. You feel terrible. I know this feel, it's a terrible feeling, right? When you're running and the bus just goes. You feel terrible. What? I put so much effort. What effort you put? He just ran maybe for 10 meters. But we feel so devastated, right? So, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyai Upadhrita. Upadhrita means always disturbed. Upadhrita. Always disturbed. For small effort, I didn't get result. Everyone's against me, the government is against me, The bus driver was against me, like, this world, me against the world, Tupac. Anyone Tupac fan? Me against the world, mama. Right? Upadhrita. Disturbed. But here, Lord Brahma is saying, no, Yagna Lingo Janardhana. If you can satisfy Krishna, everyone gets satisfied. So this is a very beautiful representation. So it's 8:40. Devotees want to share something? No? Alright. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hare